What if the familiar hum of a lightsaber and the dreaded heavy breathing of Darth Vader echoed not in a galaxy far, far away, but right here on Earth, smack in the middle of World War II? It's a wild thought, but let's dive into this epic crossover and see how history might have been rewritten. Picture this. It's 1942. The world is engulfed in the largest conflict it has ever known. Suddenly, a colossal, wedge-shaped starship, the Imperial Star Destroyer, materializes in the skies above Europe. Its sheer size would dwarf anything humanity has ever built. Panic would erupt globally. The ongoing war would grind to a halt as every nation, friend and foe alike, stares up in unified terror. From this monstrous ship, a smaller shuttle descends, landing somewhere in occupied Europe, perhaps near Berlin. The ramp lowers, and out steps Darth Vader, flanked by his elite stormtroopers. Local German forces would be the first to encounter him. Imagine their reaction. These soldiers, hardened by battle, would see a figure clad in black armor, wielding a weapon that deflects their bullets and cuts through steel like butter. Vader wouldn't be interested in picking a side in our primitive war. His goal would be subjugation. He'd see Earth as just another backwater planet ripe for the Empire's taking. His first move? A show of force. The Star Destroyer could target a major military installation or a fleet at sea. A single turbo-laser blast would obliterate it, demonstrating a level of power beyond human comprehension. This act alone would be a psychological weapon far more devastating than any bomb. The leaders of the world, Churchill, Roosevelt, Stalin, would face an unprecedented crisis. They'd have to put aside their differences. The Axis and Allied powers would be forced into an uneasy, desperate alliance against this common, otherworldly enemy. Intelligence agencies like the MI6 and the OSS would scramble to understand the threat. Who is this Vader? What is this force he commands? Vader would likely target centers of power and industry. He wouldn't need to conquer every inch of land. He'd just need to decapitate the leadership and cripple the war machine. He could walk into the Reichstag or the Houses of Parliament unopposed. Bullets would be useless. Guards would be dispatched with a wave of his hand, tossed aside by an unseen power. He could use the Force to extract information directly from the minds of generals and leaders, learning all our secrets in an instant. Our most advanced technology of the era, Spitfires, P-51 Mustangs, Panzer tanks, would be utterly obsolete. Fighter planes would be like flies swatted out of the sky by the Star Destroyer's TIE fighters. Our naval fleets would be sitting ducks. The only thing we might have that could even scratch the Star Destroyer's shields would be the atomic bomb, but the Manhattan Project was still in development. And even if they managed to build one, how would they deliver it? Getting a B-29 bomber anywhere near that ship would be a suicide mission. And what if one bomb wasn't enough? Vader's stormtroopers, with their blaster rifles, would outgun any infantry soldier. Their armor, while not perfect, would offer significant protection against the small arms of the 1940s. But humanity wouldn't just roll over. We've always been resilient. Resistance movements would form across the globe. Partisan tactics, ambushes, sabotage, fighting in the shadows would become our primary strategy. We can't win a direct fight, but we could make the occupation a nightmare for the Empire. Think of the French resistance, but on a global scale, armed with the knowledge that the fate of the entire planet is at stake. Scientists like Einstein and Oppenheimer would be our best hope. Instead of an atomic bomb, their efforts would be redirected to understanding Imperial technology. Could they reverse engineer a captured blaster? Could they find a weakness in the Star Destroyer's shields? This would be a race against time, a technological sprint to close a gap of thousands of years. Vader, for his part, might become impatient. He's used to swift, decisive conquests. The stubborn, guerrilla-style resistance of humanity might annoy him. He'd likely make an example of a city, much like Alderaan, to break our spirit. The devastation would be unimaginable, but it might just galvanize the survivors even more. An interesting question is how Vader would interact with the ideologies of the time. He would have nothing but contempt for the Nazis' beliefs in racial purity. To him, all non-imperial humans would be equally insignificant. He wouldn't align with them. He would crush them just as he would anyone else who stood in his way. He might even see their atrocities and be grimly reminded of the Empire's own brutal tactics. In this scenario, the war as we know it would end. The lines of Axis and Allies would blur into a single front. Humanity versus the Galactic Empire. Our technological leap would be staggering if we could capture and study their tech. The war could accelerate our development by centuries in just a few years. So who would win? Honestly, the odds would be stacked against us. Darth Vader and a single Star Destroyer possess enough firepower to pacify a planet like ours in the 1940s. Our victory would depend on our ingenuity, our unity, and our sheer refusal to give up. We would need to exploit Vader's arrogance and the Empire's over-reliance on technology. Perhaps a brilliant scientist finds a frequency to disable their shields. Perhaps a brave pilot executes a one-in-a-million trench run on the Star Destroyer's reactor core. It's a long shot, but it's the kind of long shot that epic stories are made of. Ultimately, an invasion by Darth Vader during World War II would have irrevocably changed our world. The war would have ended, but a new, more desperate struggle for survival would have begun. We would have been forced to unite as a species for the first time in history, facing an enemy from the stars. It's a terrifying, yet fascinating, alternate history to consider. What do you think? Could 1940s Earth have stood a chance? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into what-if history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you next time.